Hey guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today I am here with my personal catch-all planner, classic size, to wrap up the end of May. So if you watched my previous video, you will know that I am switching into a big size planner for the month of June. And one of the things that I like to be able to do is kind of keep a separation between like May and June, or like just between the previous month and the next month. And so one of the things that's a little bit different with the Happy Planner is that the pages, the weekly pages, will sometimes, well, in fact, almost every month, have a split where the beginning and the end of the month will kind of be blended together. And so let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. So I flipped open into June right here. Let me actually zoom in just a little bit. It doesn't have to be quite so far. So this is the month of June, and you will notice that this is the June divider, the monthly spread, and then if you open it up, it has the May-June combination right here. And the way that the Happy Planner does it is essentially makes a decision for whichever week or however many days in terms of the month have more days for that week, it will end up in that week, in that month. So trying to explain that in a better way. Right here, there are 2 days for May and 5 days for June. So because there are 5 days for June and only 2 for May, this ended up being a June weekly page rather than a May weekly page. Now, for most purposes, that is absolutely fine with me. But the thing is like with me switching into a completely different planner, one of the things that I do like to do is kind of wrap up the entire month of May and have it be in May. And so what that means is I'm going to essentially take out these pages right here and use them for the month of May. Now I know it's kind of weird, and this is just like one of my little quirks as a planner, but I know there's only 2 days in May, but I really want the entire month of May to be in May. And so I'm going to actually move this into May and not use it for June, just because I am using a different setup for June, a big planner for June. And so I won't be using these pages at all. And so I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side. And I'll also go ahead and tell you that for essentially the month of June and July, I'm going to be in the Happy Planner, or at least that's my goal. And I guess I really should have just removed June, because maybe I'll make a decision like at mid-June or end of June that I'm gonna switch back to July, but I'll leave July in here. But right now, this is my classic size planner, my personal catch-all, and it does have May in here, and I removed June just because, again, I'm using a different setup. And so this is essentially at this point unused pages. So I've discussed in previous videos how I like to not have unused pages in my like active planners, and so this divider, since it's not being used for June, is going to be moved into the unused dividers pile. And then these pages are unused, and so they're going to be put into like essentially all of the other like unused pages that I have. And so these are, for me, I like to redate, or I don't mind redating, and so it's easy enough for me to redate these pages. I just have to have them in a place where I know that they haven't been used, and so I put them basically with all of like my millions of other unused pages. And so those two will go into 2 separate spots: unused dividers, unused pages. And then now what I have left are these pages, and I'm going to show you what I do with this. And again, I know this is kind of a weird, quirky thing that I do, and you know, please do whatever works for you and your system, but I just like to, especially when I'm switching systems, I like to like have the end of the month, May 30th and May 31st, be with May instead of with June. And then I can start in June with a completely brand new system. And the June planner will start on the Wednesday the 1st, you know, and I have the spot, of course, for Monday and Tuesday, but I just won't use those 2 days. So again, I hope that makes sense. I know it's a weird little quirk of mine, but that's just how I like it. So with these pages then, knowing that I'm only basically using this, one of the things that I will just know right offhand is that I won't be using this page and I won't be using this page. So I'm basically using it as one-sided pages here just for this weekly spread. And so I'm going to take it into my May planner at this point, and I'm going to go to the end of my weekly planner. And so this is my weekly planner right now. This is, as you probably know, if you're a Happy Planner, you know that this is the last week in May. And so the back page here is going to be essentially the like currently page. And so what I'm going to do is, I've already taken a photo of this just because I will need to transfer this over, and I'll pull a sheet of paper just to be able to do this. I really have to think about that. I might actually use this page, in fact, to copy these notes over. And so I'm going to copy this over into a different page, but what I'm gonna do is right here, 26, 27, 28, 29th, and then I'm gonna take these pages and stick them right in here, right? And forgive all of my messy notes. You'll see that in the flip through. So if you're curious what that looks like, then absolutely stick around for that video, just because I will be doing a flip through of my May planner. In fact, now that I have this sheet right here, these are my notes for my budgeting, just because I did combine planners and simplify planners a little bit. I decided to not have a separate budget planner, which was not a really good idea. I'm going to go back to having a separate budget planner. Anyway, that's a whole separate conversation, a whole other story. And so I'm going to set this to the side, but I'm basically going to copy over all the information from this sheet to this sheet. And I'm going to just basically change the date, mark out some of these dates because I don't use them, and, you know, just transfer over all the information. So this part will be on fast forward just because, you know, it's just me writing over my numbers. Okay, I'm realizing I should cover that up just because that's like a really personal number right here. This is the money over here that I transfer from account to account, and so there was a big transfer that I did. Anyway, I don't know why I'm so like iffy about that, but I'm covering that up. But I just transferred over all my budget numbers. These were the beginning balances for each of my categories for my budgeting. I haven't done a budget video in a while, but I am still using this in a digital version with my Mint app. And so this is just like my check-in at the beginning of the month that I did at the beginning of May for these numbers. And I didn't use my pen to white that out, but I think you can still see July, white it out this here. And so I'm gonna go back here and just like add a sticker or something decorative right here just to cover up the July a little bit more. And this is meant just to be totally functional, right? And so I'm just going to like, I just pulled this random sheet of stickers from my drawer, and I'm just going to use this just to cover it up a little bit. That's pretty much it. Just to get rid of the July. You know, I just didn't love the way that it looked with the, like the color. And so because I have that there, I think I just like put some extra like coloring there. But since I have that there, I'm just going to go ahead and add some down here too. Why not? There's no real need to save these stickers. I hardly ever use these circle stickers for anything, honestly. I usually do things like this, like cluster them and just kind of use it like this. I'm just covering up the special days here just because I don't track special days on this page, at least. In this planner, you can see I pretty much just used it just to track my budgeting. So we'll leave it at that. Just keep it decorative. I feel like I messed that up, but that's okay. Okay, so now I transferred over all my notes here. And what I'm gonna do now is basically tape over the pages, right? And so what I have essentially now are just the inner pages of the Disney planner that I was using for June, or like have been using for the entire year, but I'm not going to be using for June. And so these will be going into my unused pile. Again, that's like 3 sheets. And so that's like 2 weeks for sure of pages that I can use for a different week. I like to save those for like when I mess up a week, or if there's like, you know, I'm just feeling into like a Disney vibe and I just want to like have a Disney planner or a Disney theme for the week, you know, and I could just pop those into my planner for the week. This year I'm of course using Disney for the entire year, so there's no need to like pop in a Disney planner, but like in future years I won't be using Disney. So anyway, I should let it dry a little bit, I think, but I won't. Okay, so I have let me just kind of like show this to you, and this video is pretty much done at this point. I have the weekly pages here, right? So the 26th or the 23rd through the 29th, this is in the May planner. And then of course I have my budget stuff here that was already on the sheet of paper that I just copied over. And then I have the two pages that I pulled from June that have May 30th and 31st. And then this page goes in here, and now it's going to kind of look seamless. All I have to do is tape it down, right? So this first page right here is May 26th, or like I keep reading just the 26th, the 23rd through the 29th. And what I'm gonna do is, I'll pull this out, all right? And the only reason I'm pulling that out is just because I have those numbers on there. And I'm gonna tape it down using my tape runner. I just ran out of tape, need more tape. I'm constantly running out of tape these days because I am taping everything down. But anyway, right, so that's the tape, right? And again, this would just stay on the discs normally, but I'm just trying to like be a little bit private, right? And so trying to cover up my numbers here, right? So I'm gonna tape it down, and now this will be the one side, and then it will flip straight into these pages. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Again, this is the page I pulled from June, and this is the back page of June that I pulled just to copy over my numbers. Oops, that's the wrong one. Let's tape these down. I just know that I won't use these pages. And because I own so many planners, especially planners that I purchased on clearance, I have gotten into just kind of like being okay with using like one single side of a page. Like once I use one side, I don't really feel the need to keep the other side. It's okay for me just to use the one side as long as I'm being purposeful, intentional with using that one side and having it make sense to me. So anyway, to me, like taping it down and just using one side is totally fine. But if you're trying to maximize, I don't encourage you to tape it down. Like maybe just tape it on the edges to where you can take the pages apart. But now we have May 23rd through the 29th, and then taped down the pages here to where it's May 30th and 31st. And I'll probably just decorate this so that way I'm not using the June portion of it, just the May 30th and 31st portion of it. And then again, I taped it down and have the budget notes that I had already had in here transferred over to this sheet. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this plan with me. It's definitely a different type of plan with me. But yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, what do you do when you switch planners and like part of the month is missing? To me, I just want to have the entire month of May here. And so now it's ready to go. And so for this week, because I did this type of video, I'm not going to have a decorative plan with me. I do like the functional plan with me too. I like talking you through my system. So I hope you enjoyed this video too. Just no decorative, no stickers, none of that kind of planning for this week in this planner. So with that being said, I enjoy the functional planning. I hope you enjoyed them too. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, bye guys.